In late summer in New York, the hottest ticket around brings you here to the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. What makes the US Open so singular as an event is that it isn't simply a stage, but a scene. It's a sigh, and a whisper, and an eruption. It's a feeling that once you've had, you'll want again. This particular tournament celebrates 50 years since a crucial moment in history, initiated impulsively by the living legend, Billie Jean King.
I was sitting in a media conference. I just won $10,000, and Elie de Stasi won the men's singles, and he won $25,000. I don't know what came over me, but in the 1972 media conference, I said, I don't think we're going to be coming back next year unless we get equal prize money. And I'm going, oh, Billie, what have I done? I hope I can get the women to go along.
It's impossible to measure the impact of Billie Jean King's actions on that late summer day in 1972. But 50 years later, 7 of the 10 highest-earning female athletes in the world were tennis players in 2022. That's only one of the many outcomes of Billie Jean King's visionary actions, and a reminder of how far the world still has to go. But round by round, here at the US Open, the women will bring home a check equal to the men's.
What is cool is her leadership and then the USTA's leadership for the next 49 years. That was unwavering.
Who will bring home those checks and in what amounts? Well, that's what they play the matches for.
A great way to win a championship. Second match to Billie Jean King.
Roger Federer is the United States Open champion. And it's Serena time again.
It's the summer of Novak Djokovic.
The champion, Iga Swiatek.
2022 US Open men's champion, Carlos Alcaraz.
Setting the stage for the tournament that was to come, Novak Djokovic returns after a 2-year hiatus, now a 23-time major champion.
I'm excited, it's one of the biggest events we have in our sport, of course, definitely the biggest stadium. Atmosphere, especially at night, get very electric, a lot of great energy, positive vibes from the crowd.
Djokovic came out playing like a runaway train bound for the final. Even during this third-round match against his countryman Laslo Djere, he finds himself down 2-0. But Djokovic predictably responds.
No way! Djokovic breaks.
I think the more you experience that, the more comfortable you feel every next time you're in that particular situation.
He is the most tenacious competitor, and he has a sense of history.
Novak Djokovic wins from 2-0 down for the 8th time in his career.
I watched the first 2 sets, then I had to go to sleep. But, when I go to bed, I was thinking that Novak is going to come back, that's for sure. And he shows once again that he's one of the best in history.
Challenging Djokovic's claim to the greatest in the game is this young man, Carlos Alcaraz. A tennis genius if there ever has been one. He's ripping through the early rounds of the tournament with infectious joy. This game is called Emirates Ball Flight. All the winning players do it after matches here. And if you want to catch a game ball from Carlos Alcaraz, he's got a tip for you.
Honestly, I was trying to find the Spanish flags and hit the ball to them. I didn't find too much, and it was anywhere. Sometimes I find a lot of them, sometimes not too much.
He's making everything about this tournament look fun. This third-round match with Daniel Evans of the United Kingdom had it all.
Oh, come on.
Thoughts? coming?
Speechless.
It's a great feeling. You know, when I hear the drops and the opponent couldn't reach it, it's a great feeling. I feel like I'm gonna do another one.
No. Yes? Yes! Yes, Dan.
On the women's side, all eyes are on Coco Gauff. She enters the U.S. Open having won 2 high-profile tournaments, benefiting from the attention of a new member of her coaching staff, Brad Gilbert.
Coco Gauff finally really won a big tournament, finally, and I think her forehand's much better, and I think Brad Gilbert's, a consultant, I love him.
He's older, but he still has the mind of like a 20-year-old, maybe even younger, 10-year-old kid sometimes. He played pretty much every match with a Jolly Rancher in his mouth. So he's been giving me Jolly Ranchers like all the time, and I take them, but I don't eat them because I'm like, at this point, I cannot have Jolly Ranchers like every 5 minutes. He doesn't like even numbers. He only likes odd numbers. So whenever he says something, you ask him what time it is, he's going to say like 1:53 or 1:59. He won't say 12 or something basic. So that's my favorite Brad story. He's just a really quirky man. And he also has been sending me like crazy playlists of like 60s and 70s bands, but I haven't kept up with it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I could keep going, but I'm not because I know people have other questions.
Gauff is 19. When her round of 16 opponent was 19, she was contesting the U.S. Open final. Of course, that would be 33-year-old Caroline Wozniacki.
Oof, that makes me feel a little old.
Having breached the upper echelon of the sport long ago, Wozniacki returned to major tennis at this event after 3 years away, starting a family. Time has given Wozniacki the best thing it can offer: perspective.
I think when you're young, you always look into the future and you have hopes and dreams for what your career is going to look like. But for me, coming back now, I don't know how long I'm going to play. I get that, question all the time. Am I going to play 1 year? Am I going to play 5 years? I have no idea, but all I know right now is that I'm really enjoying this moment, and to be able to play in these big courts and, in front of a big crowd, it's something very special and something that I will never take for granted, and something I always appreciate.
Both exceptional movers, but Gauff, no question, a more explosive mover.
Caroline Wozniacki has never lost her fitness, not through retirement, not through 2 kids. That's what she can do. How about that? Coco's in the quarters.
Caroline, what a tournament. Showed so much, but what a performance by Gauff.
And here, a goodbye. American John Isner announced his retirement after this U.S. Open.
Well, it charged the nets, and Isner was ready.
On the court, I like to think I'm a good competitor. I might not win every match, that's for sure, and I might lose a lot of close matches, but because I care.
Was waiting on that.
And he's earned himself a match point.
Fitting that the big American, whose 11-hour and 5-minute Wimbledon bout in 2010 with Nicolas Mahut brought about fifth-set tiebreaks in majors, his career would come to an end, you guessed it, in a fifth-set tiebreak.
And Michael Moe
comes up with the win, and John Isner will call it a day.
Tennis is it's been a huge part of my life, so it's tough to say goodbye. It's not easy. But most importantly, man, I have an amazing life for sure. So I can look forward to every second of that going forward.
This summer in New York City, a wave of American men came crashing onto the courts of the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. 3 made the quarterfinals for the first time since 2005. The only problem there is that eventually they would have to start knocking each other out.
Francis, American tennis is looking really great right now. Of course, the guys are they're finally catching up to the women, doing really well.
It would all come to a head here, with Frances Tiafoe and Ben Shelton in a primetime quarterfinal engagement.
Well, he does it with a smile on his face. The second of the men's quarterfinals is all square. Oh, wow! From a mile back. ...105 miles an hour. A forehand. Fearless. Match point. Saved in some style. Ben Shelton soars into the US Open semi-finals.
Yelena Ostapenko stuns #1.
In defeating Iga Swiatek, Yelena Ostapenko took down the #1 player in the world, stripping her of that top ranking designation in the process.
Polish press agency, I apologize if I'm a little bit upset because you ousted our champion. And now we're going to be rooting for you. Let the title stay in Eastern Europe.
The plucky underdog faced Coco Gauff in a quarterfinal few predicted. Gauff grew up in always hot and humid South Florida. She is used to 93 degrees Fahrenheit and 80% humidity, which is about where the barometer stayed through the middle part of the second week. Maybe that's why Ostapenko looked so uncomfortable across the net from Coco during this quarterfinal.
That's the play there for Gauff in this particular match on this particular day, and that's the beauty of Coco Gauff's game, is she can play a couple of different ways. Today it's going to be about consistency and the speed.
That look, because in just over an hour, Coco Gauff serving for the semis.
Just 19 years of age. It feels like it's been a long time coming.
Ostapenko isn't the only one feeling the heat. It's been an impressive factor in every match of the round of 16 and quarterfinals of the tournament. The heat of the day is unrelenting. The humidity of the night is oppressive. A lesson Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev learned all too well in their quarterfinal. A 4-hour, 41-minute war of attrition.
Zverev. One intense set. And the crowd's loving Sinner's effort.
Sinner has a fan club, the Karate Boys, who made their way from northern Italy to support their man. And credit to them. It must have been hot inside those carrot costumes, yet they never took them off.
Oh, Sinner!
Probably most people watching at home will have their hands on their head as well.
Alexander Zverev stands tall at the end.
Zverev survives, but just barely.
What are your thoughts on Carlos Alcaraz next up?
I mean, I'm here to play.
First game hold for Alcaraz, but Zverev has also shown us that he can dazzle too. Wow. First break point of the match comes off a spectacular return. Missed it.
He's done well to dig that out. No panic here on that volley. Get out of here.
What a stab. Alcaraz back in the semis.
Other guys got to catch up. That's as simple as that. I think first game already in the second set I felt something wrong, and then I didn't give up, but there's very little you can do in a way against Carlos then.
After 1 year, I feel that I'm more comfortable when the people are supporting on me. I like those atmosphere. I can really enjoy every Chinese people are there yelling for me.
For the first 4 rounds of the tournament, Zheng Qinwen dazzled and delighted a mostly Chinese fan base who flocked to see her repeatedly win on the field courts of the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center.
I love to play in the big stage, but for the moment, I don't have a chance yet to play in the big stadium. I hope in the future coming soon.
Well, she got her wish. On Louis Armstrong, Zheng took on the 2022 U.S. Open runner-up, Ons Jabeur.
Oh, goodness me. What a hit. Just going from strength to strength. What a display. Tension rising by the minute inside Louis Armstrong. What an achievement for Zheng Qinwen.
Do you think more people are going to know you as Queen Wen after tonight?
Yes, and especially I love Queen Wen, this name. Come on, it's Queen.
Queen Wen faces a tall order for her first engagement on Ash. It's a quarterfinal against Aryna Sabalenka. Sabalenka, benefiting from the early exit of Iga Swiatek, will rise at the end of this tournament to world number 1 for the first time in her career. A designation she's long dreamed of, but wasn't ready to bother with the morning after the upset.
I was wondering how you found out about world number 1. Did you find out last night, in the morning? What was your reaction?
I find out this morning.
I just opened my phone and I was just like, guys, I have match today. I have things to take care of. Thank you so much for all the support, for all the messages. I was trying to like stay focused on the game and like don't let this news distract me. So, and I answered everybody only now.
You're telling me that you went to sleep, you didn't watch the match? I mean, Ostapenko was 3-0.
Okay, I lied. You got me.
Sabalenka is making 1 or 2 errors now. Just start to build some kind of rhythm if you can. It's just remarkable, her run, Ted. I mean, she's barely losing games in any of her matches here. You know, at times in the past, you see her motions get the best of her, and she just looks so focused, so concentrated, playing each point.
And Aryna Sabalenka, 3rd straight U.S. Open semifinal.
Vamos, 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 like it's just non-stop. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him.
Yes, you can see how frustrated he is here.
Andrei Rublev simmering.
Having some choice words there for the fans sitting courtside.
And Rublev showing a bit of frustration even.
Boiling over now.
Can you tell these two are great friends? They played each other from their earliest days, growing up as a pair of Russian tennis prodigies. They know each other about as well as any two players can. 8-seed Andrei Rublev is actually the godfather to 3-seed Daniil Medvedev's 1-year-old daughter Elisa. Medvedev leads their head-to-head 5-2. In major quarterfinals, it's more decisive. Medvedev won both of those meetings. They faced off in a scorcher on Arthur Ashe.
Oh, what a point. Did get forward, and he came out on top that time. Beautiful. What a combo.
Beautiful, and that's the exact kind of point that has allowed Medvedev to dominate this head-to-head series.
Oh, no way. Thought it was looking like a good decision, but how has he missed that volley? Oh, just couldn't quite chase that one down. Medvedev, 1 step ahead. Match point number 4 now. Incredible. 4 match points saved now. Surely he can't continue to escape. It is a 4th US Open semi-final for Daniil Medvedev.
Okay, everybody ready? You gotta fight for your right to party! Woo!
Ben Shelton fought for his right to party on to the US Open semifinals, where he faced the ultimate competitor. We'll let Coco Gauff make this introduction for her session partner, as she did a few times this tournament.
Coming up next is the #1 player in the world after the end of this tournament. 23 slams, I believe, Novak Djokovic. Woo!
The American National Football League season opened over the closing weekend of the tournament. If circumstances would have been different, sports fans might have been watching this young man on TV in a completely different context. Ben Shelton's first love was American football. He was a left-handed quarterback until the age of 12. As it is, Shelton plays tennis like an American football star.
Well, there's the fastest serve of the tournament.
Don't close your eyes.
He's all power, with a signature touchdown celebration.
Our home phone, when I was growing up in Atlanta, was one like that. So, if I wanted to talk to my friends or see if they wanted to, go outside and throw a football, that was what I did. But for me, it's kind of like I'm saying I'm dialed in.
Shelton certainly is dialed in this tournament. The 20-year-old turned pro a little more than a year ago. So though he's no longer a rookie, he's running into the veteran of all veterans in this semifinal.
You know who he got next up?
Yeah, he's won maybe 23 of these, something like that. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that,
Can lightning possibly strike for the 20-year-old American Ben Shelton?
His serve has been devastating throughout the tournament so far. 138-second serve. That'll teach Djokovic to try to take it early.
Yeah. Keep looking at what he's doing. Yeah, good job.
Nice little chat with his dad.
Well, that's getting scary. Shelton's already panicking, trying to find a way around the defense of Djokovic.
Oh, man.
You're playing Djokovic.
Ben Shelton. That's a lot of work for 1 point. He got that, didn't he?
He got it and hit it around the net post for a winner.
Novak says no.
Djokovic cuts the line on Shelton's run. He's a U.S. Open finalist again. Aryna Sabalenka's been seemingly unstoppable through the tournament, not dropping a single set through the first 5 rounds. In the semifinal, she faced Madison Keys of the United States.
These are the matches and the moments that we all dream of when we're little kids, and being able to be in these moments is everything that we want.
And that was a really good example of how Madison Keys has improved.
There's always just a little bit extra something that I try to bring out at the US Open. I won my very first Grand Slam match here, and from that moment, I knew that this was going to be the tournament for me.
Whoa! Madison is playing very, very well.
Press when you can, but don't overdo it.
Stunning, it seems like an understatement for that set. 6-love Keys.
Stay locked in. Expect her to raise the level, okay? So stay locked. Come on. Here we go, Maddie. Come on, right here. Давай, не показывай. Come on. Давай. Come on, Arina.
No! Keys breaks again.
Keys leads 2-1, second set.
That is so well handled by Aryna Sabalenka.
Wow, that's the first time we've seen the real Sabalenka tonight, just in time. Sabalenka has gone from a player that was missing to, in the last 4 games, a player that can't miss. Did she think it was it?
She thought.
She didn't realize. She thought it was set. Wow. So again, a reminder for everybody, 10 points. And that is it for Aryna Sabalenka. A memorable turnaround victory her first U.S. Open final.
Billie Jean King's presence is felt all over this campus, a fact that even she finds a little funny now.
I used to be suspended by the USTA, but after I'm finished with tennis, the entire place, the entire facility comes and puts my name up there.
Coco Gauff, like Billie Jean King, was named after her father, Corey, who is little seen in his daughter's players box this tournament.
There is Coco's dad sitting up in one of the suites. He has not been sitting down courtside.
Wherever Corey Gauff is watching this semifinal, Coco is front and center and looking comfortable on Arthur Ashe. Her opponent is Karolina Muchova, a 27-year-old from the Czech Republic, where so many of today's outstanding female players were fostered.
I always feel that I'm pretty, I would say, tough cookie in life as well.
Muchova undoubtedly has strategized against Gauff, but she'll give none of that away.
The key to the match, I don't really want to say all the keys. I mean, the tactics. So I'll just focus on myself and try to bring the best out of me to play with her.
Got it. Coco's flying. By far the best point of the match, Mare. Right on that baseline, perfectly placed.
That's tremendous stuff from Muchova. Now there's tension in this opening set.
And her first real sign of emotion there with that positive fist pump.
Wow. First set goes to the American.
Protesters forced an untimely play stoppage. 49 minutes later, Gauff and Muchova return to the court and play resumed.
You never know with stoppages of play and who it helps reset.
That's some lob. That's some point. Match point for Coco Gauff. The 19-year-old American is in her first U.S. Open final. What a tremendous fight Karolina Muchova put up.
'20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz has the best players in the world throwing up their hands. What can you do against this?
How about that?
Unbelievable tennis.
Or this?
Oh, hello.
Get out of here.
He has every shot. He has extra power to other players. We see it 100 a mile, a forehand winner and stuff like this. Some players, even if we try, we cannot do it. He is good from forehand, backhand, he can slice, drop shot. He has every shot in the game, but again, you can always beat players.
Daniil Medvedev lost twice to Carlos Alcaraz this year. One of those times was in straight sets in the Wimbledon semifinals. Alcaraz is a tough matchup for Medvedev, but the 3 seed is keeping the faith. He says his level is 10 out of 10 so far this tournament. He's looking for 11 to pull off the upset tonight.
Remarkable defense from Daniil Medvedev. Brilliant finish. That's some recovery.
Angeles. How good this is. Brilliant shot selection.
Daniil Medvedev, as the defending champion, in a little bit of trouble. Exquisite.
This is beyond special. A big-time play on a big-time point. A moment of magic from Medvedev.
It's an imperious display of tennis from Daniil Medvedev, arguably his favourite court in the world. He's 2 sets to the good. In he comes, seeking a little more love here. The defending champion cuts the deficit in half, and it's game on Arthur Ashe.
Creativity. Thy name is Carlos.
Coming into the tournament, you said this year you were a different player, a different person, more mature. How will that help you as you process the match tonight?
I couldn't find solutions on the match. I thought that right now I'm better player to find solution when the match is not going in the right direction for you. But after this match, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm not mature enough to handle this kind of matches.
Well, they say water covers 70% of the earth. Well, I can tell you the rest of it is covered by Daniil Medvedev.
Daniil Medvedev sends the defending champion packing. Medvedev outlasts Alcaraz in 4 absorbing sets.
The 19-year-old American.
It feels like it's been a long time coming.
Coco Gauff is a U.S. Open finalist and the first American teenager to achieve that distinction since Serena Williams did it in 1999. Gauff says she's ready.
I really believe that now I have the maturity and ability to do it. I'm really proud of how I've been handling the last few weeks.
And it's all Sabalenka.
She's locked in mentally.
On the other side of the net, Aryna Sabalenka, soon to be new world number 1.
Oh, that is delicious. Carlitos, you have nothing on me.
She's 1 win away from her second major title. Just Sabalenka against Coco Gauff, and about 26,000 of her biggest fans.
Of course, I would prefer to have someone else, so crowd would be like same to both players. I'm still hoping that probably some of them will be supporting me just a little bit, just sometimes, please. Please.
Look at that. That's what Gauff can do. Chase down winners.
Any ball that she can get a racket on, she is going to get there. That's the favorite serve of Gauff, that sliding serve away. It's one of the best mid-court forehands Sabalenka has hit, Mare. She's missed an awful lot of those, but if she's going to win this match, she has got to figure out this area of the court.
She's happy she finally got the win at the net. There it is. Got her. How they want to see more of this inside Ashe Stadium. That's good. So is that. That's even better. Wow.
She's finally playing the tennis she wanted to play in this final. Starting to play more free, starting to dictate play a little bit more, and really starting to get under the skin of Sabalenka.
She can fight with what she's got. And that's what she's done to get herself back into this final. Coco gets the break. This place is going nuts. One game away from the US Open title. The best player in this hard court summer is about to take out the #1 player in the world. With her legs, with her lungs, and with her heart. Get up, Coco Gauff. You've just won the US Open. She found her dad. Sometimes during this fortnight, she didn't even know where he was sitting.
It's been a tournament of celebration, recognizing Billie Jean. When 50 years ago, the US Open followed your lead, and we became the first major sporting event in the world to offer equal prize money to men and women.
And now, Irina, let's hear a few words from you. What are you most proud of in this terrific year you're having?
Don't know. You guys could have supported like this during the match.
What does it mean to win your first Grand Slam title on home soil?
Oh my goodness. It means so much to me. I feel like I'm a little bit in shock in this moment. Thank you first to my parents. Today was the first time I've ever seen my dad cry. He doesn't want me to tell you all that, but he got caught in 4K. And last but not least, thank Thank you to New York. Thank you to you guys. You guys pulled me through this fast. Thank you, Billie, for fighting for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 U.S. Open Women's Singles Champion, Coco Gauff.
I'm going to ask this to the both of you. What is it that you respect about your opponent today?
I could go forever, and then he's gonna be late for his interview. But basically, say the way he came on tour when we had Roger and Rafa, people would think that it would be impossible to kind of rivalize them, and that he managed to do it, and especially in Grand Slam titles, beat them. That's something I probably respect the most.
I think he's mentally one of the toughest players around. You know, he's very, very dedicated, very smart player. He moves extremely well for his height, and he always plays on a certain level. He rarely drops that level. So, you know, he's not going to hand you the win. You got to earn it.
The drop shot always looks like it's the right play against Medvedev. He's in the seats, but got there comfortably, and he does a pretty good job.
Couple of big forehands, and Djokovic pulls out to a 5-2 lead in this opening set.
Medvedev hits so many shots that when he hits them, I think there's no way that can go in.
First set,
Djokovic is actually 72-1 at the US Open when he has won that first set.
That was one of the strangest looking plays I've ever seen.
Don't you make fun of my Medi.
Sorry.
Big chance for him here for the second. Oh my goodness. That was not as easy as it looks. Djokovic found the pass.
In your life, have you ever seen anything like that?
Bruising battle, Novak Djokovic takes the second set, one set away from Grand Slam number 24. Whoa, ended up down. Djokovic checking on. Scraped his elbow a little bit. Yeah, he's saying, give one moment. Daniel not ready to get up yet.
That was an amazing point for 3 hours and 11 minutes in. Djokovic was absolutely pasting ground strokes.
his 4th U.S. Open. 24 and counting.
Ooh, 24. What does it mean?
Well, I don't know where to start. It obviously means the world to me. All these years, you know, my wife, my kids, my team, everyone that is there. This is your trophy as much as it's mine. This is your success. I love you.
Everyone, your 2023 U.S. Open champion, Novak Djokovic.
And with that, the tennis majors calendar comes to a close. What did we see over a fortnight? A pair of world number ones replaced. The changing of the guard and the defense of it.
Look at this, Mom. My name is on the wall.
And an underlying sense that tennis remains in competent and trustworthy hands. So long from Flushing Meadows. Goodbye from the 2023 U.S. Open.